Ironically, even though gate 62 is known as the gate of details, it's actually going to be one of my shorter videos because gate 62 is pretty straightforward. It is a Cancer placement between 20 and 26 degrees. We currently, at the time of me filming this video and around the middle of July every year, have our sun that is transiting for the next 6 days through this sign or these signs or these degrees. And we are focusing on getting really detailed and into the nitty gritty. So gate 62, when we're talking about it, is really understanding the concept that we are learning inside and out. If we want to learn about this Florida water, for example, or this Olipop, for example, we're really allowing ourselves to research it forwards and backwards and become really confident in knowing we have the skills to explain it to somebody else. And thus, everything we want to learn about said subject, the details, of course, we want to pass on to other people. Now, what's interesting is that we have Saturn going retrograde and Neptune going retrograde in gate 25, which is an Aries and a late degree Aries, early degree Pisces placement in human design. We are noticing that we are doing, again, this extra lap as Mercury is also retrograde in Leo at the time of this transit. We're noticing that we are dotting our I's and crossing our T's and maybe being a little bit more introverted. I say giving ourselves more buffer time this week, or even if you are somebody that has this placement in your chart naturally, you need an extra window to make sure that you have more time than you think that you do to learn anything, to review any contract, to make sure you have extra time to plan social media, launch any new projects, things along those lines during this time. That's always going to be really important for people with gate 62. You need extra buffer time than most people to grasp your skills, grasp the skills that you want to use to pay the bills, and also for people that are experiencing this transit like the rest of us this week. Now, the last thing I'll say before I get into the dates or the explanation of each of the days of the week as we go through, gate 62 in the first line through the second, all the way until the 6th, as I usually do in these videos, I want to say this. Knowing your timing for when it's appropriate to share the facts that you've learned or the details that you've learned through gate 62 is exceptionally important. It's making sure that you are not just listening to respond, but actually listening to what people's needs are. And if the things that you know actually apply and fit for whatever it is appropriate in a dialogue. It's really easy for people with this placement to get themselves into a position, where they are in a dialogue or a monologue and not a dialogue. So paying attention to that is what's going to get you people on board with understanding whatever it is that you want to talk about. Instead of just talking at people, you want to be talking with them, because that's going to get them on board for whatever it is that you are selling or just want to communicate. It doesn't always have to come down to sales, but a lot of the people that I help that listen to me are also looking to make money in some sort of vein of spiritual entrepreneurship or just selling and motivating other people by doing what they love. So on the first day of this transit, or gate 62, in the first line, this is known as the line of routine. And this is an exalted placement, or in its exalted placement, you are people, or we're feeling that we want to live our most fantastical life today. Now, this week, we are experiencing a little bit of like disciplinarian, fatherly, oppressive energy, also with this like forced fantasy aspect. And it's a teetering that line of making sure that you can still allow for a little bit of childlike play, levity, and fun, and know that that's appropriate for this Sunday. Now, in the detrimented aspect, it's like being so rebellious about allowing yourself to have fun or taking the time to learn the details or read the instructions that you end up messing up any progress that you've made, or just create more frustration for yourself because you didn't read the directions beforehand. It's also where you can get in trouble by putting your foot in your mouth, by not thinking before you speak and just blurting things out at inappropriate times and just creating a little bit of awkwardness between those people around you. Now, in gate 62 and the second line, this is known as the day or the line of restraint. And people with this placement, when using it appropriately, are really allowing themselves to, again, have that extra buffer time. That too is the line of the hermit. So it's being a little bit more introverted, which is a little bit easier for us to do on Monday as it's ruled by the moon and we go a little bit more inward. The detrimental aspects of this is being so nervous about the details that you become like really anxious and hyper overwhelmed about whatever it is that you are looking to do or study, right? It's like getting lost in the details and really like knowing enough, or you can never know enough, where you don't like eventually rip off the Band-Aid and take action. And at the core of so much of the transits that are going on right now, this is really what we're going to be feeling and trying to fight that eventually, because time is going so fast. Uranus is in Gemini simultaneously. You just have to rip off the band-aid and take action to the best of your ability, because this is the human design experiment. We're meant to play and to figure things out and to learn quickly. Now, on the third day of this transit, or if you have gate 62 in the third line, this is known as the energy of discovery. And in its exalted placement, you're really noticing the way that you lean into finding like detective work or discovering things that nobody else has discovered, because you allow yourself to take the time to study or hyperfixate on whatever it is you want to hyperfixate on. This is where coming and understanding, coming into your authority, whether you're a sacral authority, you're listening to that gut instinct, that emotional authority where you're like, this feels really good, I want to just like be lost in the sauce of this thing. Today is a really good day to do that, right? Tuesday is also ruled by Mars, so this transit falls on a Tuesday. So you're leaning into taking action, right? The action or the energetics of the action behind this transit. Now, in the detrimented placement, this is where you can allow yourself to get bored really quickly when you are doing detail work, and you can miss key steps and end up often getting frustrated that somebody else made a discovery that you wish you made, but you weren't willing to go and do the work to spend time honing in on whatever it is that the time that was needed and allotted to read and research all the books say about astrology, and then you found that like somebody had shared the same thing on social media about like, if you look in this place and tie these things together, you can do XYZ with your chart. That person got the recognition because they were willing to do the work, versus you like not wanting to spend time and feeling too bored by looking in whatever it is that you were looking into, didn't sit down and relax in the appropriate way, thus losing that discovery and giving it to somebody else. Now, on the fourth day of this transit, or if you have gate 62 in the fourth line, this is known as the line of aestheticism. And basically what this means is that in its exalted placement, or what we're looking to accomplish today, is the ability to allow ourselves to be more introverted so that we can seize the opportunity. Line 4 is always the opportunist line, and so it flavors any gate with that energy, where we're seizing the opportunity by allowing ourselves to hermit. Now, if you go too far in that direction, right? It's knowing the right time and really paying attention to timing with this, that your hermiting can only last so long, but it's in the effort or with the energy of seizing the moment and the right opportunity. Even the detrimented aspect of this really leans into seizing the opportunity. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, an exaltation or a detriment on this day, or if you have this placement, but it's if you sit on something for too long, it's similar to the energy of the day before. It could be gifted to somebody else if you don't take action on it in some way, shape, or form, or are not willing to give yourself the like time and the energy to really lean and focus in on whatever it is that you want to lean and focus in on. On the fifth day of this transit, or gate 62 in the fifth line, this is known as the line of metamorphosis. And on this day, it's really good for you to find a community. It's ruled by the moon in a lot of ways here. But we're looking to get into our fields and connect with people who understand us on an emotional level, the things that we want to share with them. So say you're researching incense, for example, and you decide that there's a new, like more healthy version of incense for us to breathe in, or whatever the case is, and you want to share that with your people and just have them try out a few different scents that you've made. This would be a really good day to do that, or for you to start to share and market your new incense that you have, or just find other people, scientists, whomever, aromatherapists, whoever you want to communicate with, to connect with over this shared interest and musing. Now, in the detrimented side of it, it's like, look what I can do, especially Mercury retrograde in Leo. It's like super ostentatious in a way where people are like, we've been here for a minute. Like, who are you kicking down your door, or our door to our room, and just like bursting in and saying, well, everyone pay attention to me now. It's like, see how we have that like nuance where it's like coming together in community versus being all about the I instead. It's really finding a balance with this placement, whether you have it in your chart or whether you are somebody that is experiencing this transit, as we all are on this day. Last but not least is gate 62 in the sixth line. And for my money makers, this is a really good day for people to focus on the material success and making money and doing the work, knowing the work that needs to be done in order for you to succeed. I mentioned this in one of my Energy of the Day, the Human Design Way videos earlier this week for, I think it was, July 13th, which was Sunday. And so the day that I'm filming this video, I was like, was it yesterday or this morning? I couldn't remember. Like, let me make sure I double check that. But yes, my sources say yes. But all that to say that this is where we're really leaning into allowing ourselves to know and be disciplined about sharing details, sharing specifics, because that is what's going to get us the material success. When we explain ourselves appropriately in the job interview, we can land the job. When we express ourselves online in a certain way, it's what gets people to understand that we really know our craft really well, and then they want to invest in us in return. On the detrimented aspect of this, it's wanting to, find all the answers. I said there's so many people in my comment section, which is why I mentioned my energy of the day video. So many people in my comment section that will ask me about their placements multiple times, and then they don't actually implement on said energy or said wisdom, and then they forget about it, and then they're still stuck in the same place financially, right? A lot of the undercurrent of everything that I teach is helping you to align with the appropriate energy so you know how to make more money, doing whatever it is that you love and feel more in alignment, capitalizing on the energies of this moment, right? To just feel more aligned, to feel happier in your life overall. But I just love my people to get paid. So frankly, that's an undercurrent in my corner of the world. But right, all that to say is really knowing that there is a certain time and due diligence that you need to put in to be able to reap the rewards of this placement and seizing the opportunity of the energy on this day. So I will leave you guys with that. Thank you so much for being here. As always, I will be on YouTube live from 7:30 to 9:30, sometimes a little bit later on Wednesdays and Thursdays. That's Eastern Standard Time. If you guys have any questions, you can join us over there for live conversation. And I do very affordable 10-minute, $13 human design readings. I have a couple links in the show notes below. So you can tap into another couple of my resources in the interim. And I will see you in the next video. Have a beautiful week.